Hi guys. I was informed or told about a hashtag that Simon over at the Hermit's Cave had done about 10 decks for life. Um, Here's what I'm gonna do. My own version of it. I'm going to do 10 the 10 deck tag, and I'm also going to do the 10 dark decks. 'Cause for those of us that have that darker aesthetic, and we can't make it without our dark decks, and it's just gonna do it that way. So yes, it's gonna be two different hashtags on here. Sorry, uh, but I, I, you know, some two of these decks are gonna be in both hashtags, but um, I can't not do my dark decks. I'm sorry, I can't. And I can't. That's just no way. I need to make it easier on myself. So, the first deck that I would pick is the Tarot of the Witch's Garden. I got this a couple years ago as a birthday present, and it's probably one of my more favorite decks. It's really nature based, you know, as above, so below kind of thing. Uh, because, just the whole magic garden type of feel to it. Um, when you need the light and happy vibes type of situation. So that's the first deck that I would pick. And then the next deck that I would pick, technically I guess it's two, but it comes in one box. And I had the As Above. It was a gift. It was like probably the second tarot deck I'd ever had. But the Book of Shadows Tarot, and you're supposed to, I guess, use them together for As Above, So Below. So you've got the As Above, the everyday, the everyday type of thing. There's kind of modern and fantasy mingled in. Haven't used it in a while. That type of situation. So yeah, this is like the everyday. And then you have the As Above, which is more the spirit. The other reason why I would pit the Witch's Garden too is because to me that kind of has a Hecate vibe to it, and she's one of the deities that I have a relationship with. So I guess that would also work for this one too. But so this is more like the spirit, or the spirit part of it, because I haven't used these and I didn't realize they were all discombobulated. So got to get that reorganized. So this would be the next one that I'd have for life. And technically, I guess that's two decks, but the next deck, so there's two. The next deck that I would pick, and that's because it's more for like healing and spiritual, it's more of a healing deck. And that would be my Sacred Path Oracle cards. These have been out for like a long time, and I think this was like maybe like the second Oracle deck that I got ever. I think the first one was Druidcraft, Animal Druidcraft, and then I got this one. and I had to repurchase it not too long ago. But there's a lot of great spreads and things in there, and a lot of things to do with self-reflection. So now this is the second deck that I would pick for myself to keep. Although because I had to repurchase it, I've not really used it, but that's just a deck that just really kind of have a connection to. So, the next deck, of course, is going to be, because I work with Santa Muerte, or have a relationship with Santa Muerte. So, that would be why I would pick this. Jeez. So, although she does have her own separate deck, because I have 2 copies of the As Above, and that's the deck that she let me know was the deck that I would use to communicate specifically with her. So that would be the other reason why I would pick that. How I ended up, yeah, because so that would be the next deck that I would pick. The next deck I would pick would be my Crystal Keys Tarot. Because it's a healing, to me it's a very healing tarot deck, and plus you can use it for things like crystal grids and information on crystal healing, because it's not just a tarot deck. Crystals that I may need to implement, so that would be the other reason why. Because you can be universal with this. Couldn't just, plus I could use this for spell work too. So that would be why I would pick the Crystal Keys Tarot. I'll put that away in a minute. The next deck I would pick would be the Good Karma Tarot. Jeez. Let me fix this camera. Shoot. So, when you're trying to hold the camera between your legs and do tarot stuff. Okay, so the Good Karma Tarot, and one of the reasons why I would pick this would be because, to me, this has like the 80s and 90s vibes to it. Plus, it's inclusive. Because, the clothes and things that they're wearing, to me, it's very nostalgic. It's got a lot of to me, as a Gen X kid, like a lot of like the 80s and 90s to it. Probably a little bit of the 70s too, with the imagery with it. And it just seems like there's equal, there's a lot of different, there's like all kinds of representation within the deck, which is the other thing that I like about it. But I always do that. I never... So, I just used this not too recently, and I love that Death card, by the way. So, that would be one of the decks that I would keep and why I would keep it. Oops. Okay, sorry about that, guys. I don't think I'm gonna end up doing dark decks at all, to be honest, even though I can't live without my dark decks. Um, because I've not been feeling well. I've had a raging headache, and so won't be doing that. So, anyway, my next deck that I can't live without, even though this technically is a darker deck, is the V Tarot. Um, by Alejandro Golcini, I think. I'm gonna try to get this close. I'm trying not to do the glare thing. And there's the back, because I used these in a reading earlier. Sorry, I wanted to do things in natural light, but didn't work that way. So this is a really dark deck. This one and the Z Tarot. This deck, it is, for me, it's really an honest deck, because I've worked with it. As a matter of fact, my kid asked for a reading. Jeez. And yeah, some things came up in it, because I just grabbed this deck because it was the closest deck I had. And I thought, well, I haven't used it yet. Let me work with it. And yeah, it is a bit on the gory side. It's extremely rather dark deck. So that's a deck. My next deck is my Wizard's Tarot. And one of the reasons why I picked it, because it's really hard to narrow it down to 10. I was going to do all my dark decks, but it didn't work out that way. The reason why I picked it is because it's no longer in print. It was a Kickstarter deck. It doesn't have a guidebook. It was a Kickstarter deck, and then Spencer's ended up getting it, and they were selling it at all the Spencer stores. And Spencer's no longer carries it. I think they only carry the Spencer deck tarot. So it's not in print anymore unless you go like on eBay or something like that and buy it. But this is like, it's got vampires and just, it's like the complete, it's similar to Deviant Moon, but it's like Deviant Moon on psychedelics, basically. I do pair it with the Deviant Moon quite a bit. It's just a weird, like, trippy 80s vibe. There used to be a series we used to watch on Saturdays. It was Night Flight. And there was this really weird cartoon that I was watching. And it kind of made me think of that. They had a lot of weird, like, cartoon movies in the 70s and 80s. So, and with all the neon in it. It's but you know, if you want it, you got to basically get it like off of eBay or get it from the UK. So there's the back. So if you're gonna get it, I'd hurry up and get it. But you know, you can't unless you know, because it's Spencer's isn't carrying it. They told me that when they were going to be getting rid of a lot of their spiritual stuff, and I haven't been back to the mall since, because that's when I got my Luna Soul Tarot. So, because they were on sale, and there's actually like 4 Spencer's decks. There's this one. There's one that's kind of vintage, And then there's like this holographic Spencer's deck, and then the blue deck. And they were originally created as props for costumes. The blue deck was, for the fortune teller type of thing. And then we all started buying them and using them like in our tarot practice. So, and it may be at Halloween, the Spirit Halloween, because Spencer's owns that. I don't know. I was more into like going to like Party City because Spirit Halloween is way too expensive. So, but that's another deck. And let me find my box. Oh, it is the Wizard's Tarot Wizard of Bargery, B-A-R-G, Barge. So if you're wanting a deck and you gotta find it on eBay. I don't think they're selling it on Amazon, and it's different. Instead of, wands, cups, pentacles, it is, let me see here. So it's beasts as wands, curses as cups, and colts as pentacles, and swords as swords. So I always have to look inside that box because I always forget what it is. And then this next deck is the Tarot Apocalypsis by Eric C. Dunn and Kim Hi Gens. I don't know. But I got this deck, one, because of the price. And when I went and did the walkthrough of it, I was really interested because, no, this time I'm not going to make that mistake. Just making sure that everything is right side up this time. And I couldn't get the guidebook, although I'd love to get the guidebook so I could learn. But it has all different pantheons in it. It has Norse, it has Egyptian, it has Greek. There's some indigenous. I believe there's Hindu in here also, and some Buddhism. So it, kind of goes through a lot of the different forms of spirit, the different cultures and their spirituality. I'd love to get the guidebook just so I could learn more about it. But this way, there's equal representation. So this would be, plus the colors are like really bright, even though it's really, 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 really detailed. But that's kind of one of the reasons. I don't know why I keep doing this with my cards while they end up in all these different directions. I think this one I dropped one and just put them all back together and didn't check it. But, a lot of the different pantheons are represented, and that is one of the reasons why I like it. Because you don't know what someone else's path may be. Well, there's even angels in here. So that's, one of the reasons why I love that. And my last deck is going to be my Classic Horror Oracle because, A, I love horror movies, and I'm a Gen Xer. And a lot of these are represented, like some of my favorite horror movies and some that I saw that were horrible horror movies, but it made me laugh. And one card in particular, when I saw it, I busted out laughing when I looked at it. But, and I've got the Monsters Tarot and stuff, so, and plus it's a dark deck, and I love my dark decks. But, this does represent like a lot of the horror movies and stuff. Some of these I haven't got to see, but you know, because this was a lot. I don't know why I keep doing this with these decks. A lot of my childhood, and my kid and I used to stay up all night New Year's Eve and rent a bunch of horror movies, because that's what we did when, you know, the grown-ups went out. Go and get a bunch of junk food and sit downstairs and watch horror movies. So that's what I did when I was a kid. And my mother had said on her 13th birthday she went and saw The Birds. So I guess maybe I kind of inherited it from her. She likes horror movies. But some of these I never got a chance to see. So, anyway, guys, I did have an honorable mention. So, honorable mention is the Druid Animal Oracle deck. Probably because this is like the first Oracle deck that I bought. So it's kind of a really big deck. It's really hard to, you know, it's bigger, because I remember people doing a tag that Aries Witchcraft had done. It has 2 blank cards, and I don't really like those, but asking about the biggest deck you owned, and everybody was grabbing Ancestral Path, and this is bigger than that, because I have Ancestral Path. Why do I... Just do it this way. So, but I don't remember what the first tarot deck that I bought. I remember one was gifted to me. What was my first tarot deck? I don't even remember. I'd have to go and look. But this I remember because I was just getting into Oracle decks, and this was like my first Oracle deck. But I can't seem to remember what my first tarot deck was. I think it was a fairy tarot deck. So, but anyway, guys, sorry, just not been feeling all that great. But, peace, love, and light. And we will see you in the next video.